everyone, this is Gunu from Wings Education. Today we are going to do a special module, that is reading module of PTE, and a very important topic, that is fill in the blanks. Let us have a very close look over the sequence of the questions. Unfortunately, PTE has not fixed so far the sequence of reading module, so you might get any combination of the questions, which you can have multiple choice questions, multiple answers as the first set of questions, or fill in the blanks as first set of questions, whereas the number of questions is fixed. So for reading and writing fill in the blanks, you will have 5 to 6 questions in number, whereas for simply fill in the blanks, also known as drag and drop, you have 4 to 5 questions. That's fixed. So the total time for your PTE reading module will be 32 to 40 minutes, which you have to manage according to the need of the questions. So we will definitely keep ample of time for reading and writing fill in the blanks and reading fill in the blanks, because they are one of the important questions. I recommend normally 2 to 3 minutes to do one question of each kind in your reading fill in the blanks. Now, as I said, they are a very important questions. Let's see what's the reason for that. The reason is your reading and writing fill in the blanks are contributing 45 bands out of just 5 to 6 questions, where you get further division of these bands into writing and your reading. So of course, if you see it's the second highest contributor of your writing band, so definitely one needs to make sure that he or she is performing really well on such questions. Definitely, if it is your grammar, so you have to make sure that your reading and writing fill in the blanks are going really well. And then we have reading fill in the blanks. They are also known as drop downs. Again, they are also contributing a lot. They're contributing around 15 bands to 20 bands out of 4 to 5 questions, and these contribution is completely on your reading. So definitely one should be really doing fine with 4 components of your reading. The first is presence of mind. That is your level of concentration that one can attain. Then second thing is comprehension skills. That is your ability to translate and understand the passage into your mother language. Of course, when it's your fill in the blanks, you're choosing the words. So definitely the vocabulary is important, and it has to be achieved gradually with practice. Daily you can learn some words from the questions. Grammar. The basic concepts will be discussed in today's lecture with you all, and that might be useful for you to do your fill in the blanks well. So let us see what's the task description. So you will be given a passage with several blanks. Each blank will have drop down options. You need to select the right one. The text could be up to 300 words. Your reading and writing skills will be evaluated in collocations, and reading skills will be evaluated in your drag and drops. Now let us see what are the potential grammar concepts that I'm going to discuss with you today. The very first one will be parts of speech that will be done in details, then modal verbs, passive voice, tenses, prepositions, and clues in the paragraph with notations. What's the part of speech? So you have to make sure the whole sentence sounds grammatically correct when filling the blanks. This can be done by figuring out what part of speech is appropriate. For example, basically what is missing in the sentence. In this example, it says Britain became the largest blank in the canal in 1875, purchasing its interest from the Egyptian Khedive. So if you see, before a preposition we always have a noun, and after adjective we should have a noun. So the word that is missing as a part of speech is noun in the given blank. Now let us see what's a noun. A noun is a word that is used to identify any of the class of people, places, or things, or to name a particular one of these. For example, actor, gold, painting, Greece, guitar, piano, airport, afternoon. So these are nouns, whereas adjective is a word or an attribute that is attached with nouns, such as sweet, red, or technical. Examples like famous, people, mysterious. So nouns are basically, adjectives are basically suffixes having these words like al, like musical, influential, then amiable, then incredible, then these words, okay? Now, this is a very important collocation, that is adjective and noun. Basically, when PTE is formulating your test, they definitely are going to put such collocations in your blanks where they might give you an adjective and they might give a blank for noun, or else they might give you a noun and they may put a blank before noun, where you should know which part of speech is missing then, either adjective or noun. So it is, for example, Britain became the largest shareholder, where largest is adjective and shareholder is a noun. Similarly, the Convention of Constantinople signed by the major European powers. So major is adjective and European powers is major is adverb, European is adjective and powers is noun. And then free passage, free is adjective and passage is a noun. Similarly, honest talk, where honest is adjective and talk is a noun. So this is a very famous collocation. Try to learn it and practice well. Then we have determiners, a modifying word that determines the kind of a reference a noun or noun group has. For example, the, very. So we've got collocation with noun. So determiner comes before a noun, like became, Britain became the guarantor. So if there is a blank after the, or an, it's definitely a noun. And some words like such schools, some basic skills. So these are the collocations. Definitely there is another collocation of determiner plus adjective plus noun, where it says the, or it can say a famous market. Is a determiner, famous is adjective, and market is a noun. So these collocations are going to really help you in your final tests. If you know them, you'll be fast and quick to identify which part of speech is missing, and then definitely you can chalk out your options that should be the right answer. Preposition, a word governing and usually preceding a noun or pronoun and expressing a relation to another word or element in the cause, as in the man on the platform. The man is a noun, platform is a noun, in between the relation is on. So on is a preposition. Similarly, she arrived after dinner. After dinner. So noun is there and before it we have our preposition. What did you do it for? So who? You. What for? For. So for is there as a preposition. So we have a collocation that is noun plus preposition plus noun, where for example it says secondary school can be a lonely place for adolescents, where place is a noun, for is an adjective, a preposition, and adolescents again is a noun. Similarly, a group of trusted friends. So group is noun, of is preposition, and friends is noun with adjective attached to it. So this is a very famous collocation. Just keep an eye on it when you're doing your test. You might get your answer right. Now, let us discuss verb. A verb is a word used to describe an action, state, or occurrence and forming the main part of the predicate of a sentence, such as hear, become, happen. There are three different forms of verb. First form of verb, second form of verb, third form of verb, plus we have another that is continuous verb, having first form of verb plus ing. Now, what is an adverb? It is a word that modifies a verb, an adjective, or another adverb. Adverb often ends with ly, but some of them, like fast, looks exactly the same as their adjective counterparts. So we are not into the definitions of adverbs. We are actually here to look out for the collocation of adverb with a verb. That's the more common one that comes up in your test, and PTE is going to ask for it quite often. So it's like this: publishing texts that have been widely adopted. Widely adopted. So widely is adverb, adopted is a verb. So this is the pair that comes up quite often that you should know in your test. Then the next concept is modal verbs. These are the modal verbs like can, could, will, would, may, must, might, shall, should, ought to, have to, etc. You have to use first form of verb whenever there is a blank after a modal verb. For example, he can do better, they should work harder. In some examples, it is a skill that you need to practice, not a talent. Members must employ 15 or more people and present their collections twice a year. So must employ, must is a modal verb, and employ is your first form of verb. All right. Then passive voice, it says how to identify a passive voice. There is always a helping verb before the blank, such as is, am, are, was, were, will be, have been, has been, will have been. And passive voice also means your object comes in the beginning and your subject goes at the end. Whenever this is a case, always use a third form of verb if there is a helping verb and then there is a blank. For example, in this case, after are, you have to put third form of verb, that is drawn. Here also after are, you put third form of verb, that is torn. With were, you've put the verb that is named with third form of verb. So just remember this rule. It is going to be quite helpful for you to solve some questions of your fill in the blanks. Then we have a very important preposition rule that we normally do mistake at in our normal life as well, daily life. So with the to, we always put a first form of verb after it. So it says if a blank after to is there, it requires a verb. It has to be first form of verb. For example, therefore we need to forecast future development and use the stimulation. So need to is to were there, and then it says forecast. To overcome, and then to obtain. So with the to, we always put first form of verb. Now we will continue with the next concepts in the next video.